Hey guys, welcome back. Yassine here. I got some couple ideas. Let's just go ahead and dive into them real quick. Supposed to put a video yesterday, but I didn't. I had something to do. All right, we have the SPY. Quick look to what's happening in the market. To be honest with you, last time I saw this trend line over here, I thought that we were gonna pull back. You can see it from since May. So when I drew that here, I thought we're still grinding, so I thought like we're gonna have a pullback, just like not exactly same way we did in these 2 days, but it looks like the market's still holding up that area, because if you notice back here in that area, we were grinding here as well, and then we pushed back up. We broke out of that trend line, but eventually that trend line was a little different than the way it is now. You can say that it was like that, but the fact that the idea is we were grinding up here for a while, and then we broke out of it, and then we went for like a week straight up, and then we pulled hard. So we were getting actually away from those moving averages, like the 21 moving averages. So I'm drawing a line now, so you can put that like that, and you can see that we're grinding right next to it, and still the market's still holding up there, so I think it's still positive. But when I look at other indexes, they look like they're still holding as well. They just moving like the IWM right now, he's just holding sideways. QQQ, yeah, nothing look like, seems like it wants to pull back hard. We're just going sideways. We pulled hourly, he's just going sideways for now. SMH still grinding higher, and if we look back to some of the leaders that I call leaders, like SQ, they're still holding, they're still breaking out, so everything looks good. Nvidia, I posted a tweet about it. I think when it broke out over here, and we've been grinding for so long, I think for about like 6 months or so. So it was a good entry right in here when we start breaking out. Google as well, flagging over here. You know, it just looks healthy, nothing wrong with it. The ones that are lagging a little bit was Netflix. I ignored this stock for a while, but overall it still looks good, nothing wrong with it. But it's just lagging to make some new higher prices. Baba, to me over here, it looks like it wants to go higher. You pull that on this is the weekly chart. You can see once we do the daily chart, you can see that the stock bounced back over all these moving averages. Now they became support instead of resistance, like they were back here in this area, like right in this area. If you notice, the price was just hitting that 65 or the 50. If you flip it to the 50, and then it comes right back up, right back down. And then but here actually the 65 or the 50 became support, and it just going sideways. So I'm thinking the stock wants to push higher. I'll be surprised if it actually gets up above this support, that blue line right in here. So yeah, keep that in mind. Microsoft still grinding, it was pretty good, had a breakout right in here. I don't have any position. PayPal as well, looks good. So overall, most of those blue chips are still holding, except again Facebook that's still lagging a little bit, just like a Netflix. And let's move on to actually my watch list that I actually was working on for you guys. Things that attracted me. So first one was actually LESL. LESL. This is a new IPO. You can do a little research on them. They just beat expectation, so they just literally beat earnings. And what really attracted me here is that hammer and that engulfing candle right on that support. You can see the stock came back and hit 21, so it came right. So you have a resistance, pretty much. The stock, you had a resistance in this area here, When it broke out, it came back to it, so resistance became support. That's the classic. Now we pushed higher, and then we came right back to that support, and then comes along the way with the 65 moving average. So you can see the 65 just start to form because it's a new IPO. I think it's a great risk to reward ratio. And there's a couple of them actually, like CRISPR. You can see the stock had a not a bad base in here. You can see it right in here, and then it broke out and it fixed some people out, came back again, consolidated. See that? You got to pay attention to that. When the stock does that, like it start getting tight right in here, see, that's something. That's what you got to pay attention to. And then next thing you know, we broke out in volume, and then we came back. Now come back right to that 65. You can put a 65, you can put a 50, whatever you feel like, and then we bounce right back on what? On quite a good volume right here. So just keep that in mind. A recent one that I was watching, but it ran away, was a UI. You can see a UI. Take care of this. UI had a gap up, right? A gap up, and then it flashes that new recent low either here or here, and then it came right to that 65, and then it bounced right back up. We put a stop loss right below that. I think it was a great entry right in here. So yeah, so that's actually what I'm seeing right now on LESL. Doesn't mean it's gonna run all the way same thing, but for me that's what I kind of like. There's so many that I like, but it just I see them as a great risk to reward ratio. Next one is Step. I'm watching, I think the earnings already passed, yeah, 211. It's a new IPO as well. I'm watching a break close above the high of that candle, 40.25, so it will be actionable there. Next one is Neo, NIU. It's not Neo IO. I think the other one is not doing so bad, right? Yeah, it's still grinding. I like that action right here. I like that. Usually they go up and push back before they close. So what you want to do, you want to watch the close of that candle. If you're on it right now, if I was on it, I will watch the close below that candle right there below. If you close below it, that's a warning flag. Stock wants to pull back down. Doesn't mean it's gonna crack down, but probably still wants to keep consolidating. So yeah, usually it will pop and it will go right like that. So you have move from A, which is the bottom of the candle, to B, and then to the high of the candle, and then from B to C to the lower of the candle, and then D. So you get like a shape like that. A to B, B to C, C to D. So you end up like that, like an N shape. But if the stock closed below that candle, this one becomes invalid. So it looks good. Go back into NIU. Looks good. You watch for a close, or you can put on hourly, and you want a minimum of hourly starting to close above here. It looks pretty good so far. I like that consolidation sideways right before the breakout. I like that. I just don't like them when they go straight up. They don't give you nothing to put your stop loss against. AMRS, put that back. AMRS. I like that candle right there. Sometimes I do trade against that candle, so my stop loss will be right below it. But I don't have no position. I prefer for the stock to have a base if you want to ride it for a while. So I prefer that. That's my first one. I never want to go. GNPX. I like this stock. What is it doing here? Let's look back in the monthly. This is a new IPO too. Not new, but it's since 2018. It haven't done much. It's a pharma stock, so you want to be careful with that. It can gap down on you anytime. Yeah, anything closing below that, above here, it's a good sign. It was like a recent trade that I took called Gilt. So I was watching the same thing, same setup right here. Yeah, so as soon as it started breaking down, up to the higher side with decent volume, usually it's a good entry point. And you want to watch, sometimes you want to watch the high of these previous candles, as the stock might pull back a little bit, like it did a little bit here. See that? Just a little bit. It touched it, and then it pulled back, and then it just powered higher. So you just want to watch that pattern, which is GNPX right in here. You got great volume on the way up, volume starting to drop, and you can put it even in the hourly if you want, and you can see that the stock is getting tight right in here. So you get the idea. ICLK, what do I like about this? Entry would have been right in here. I usually sometimes don't like to chase stock when they like have the third pullback or a fourth pullback. I don't like IEA, for example. I was watching this one here, actually right in here, and I didn't take no trade on it, because when I looked back, you can see the stock, if initially just broke out on $4, it pulled back to that resistance, and then you can count from there, like 1 pullback, 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then the 5th one. And I was like, nah. So I was I hesitated a little bit. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna take that trade. And I was right on it, because it's just like too many pullback, and I don't like that worm shape. When the stock does that worm shape like that, I just don't like it. Yeah, so that's the trade that I didn't take. So I don't like to chase them. IPWR, it looks consolidating. If sometimes like this, like if you look at the daily chart and it looks funky to you, it doesn't, you can't see, just go back to the weekly and see what's happening, you know. Or sometimes I just put it on 4 hours and you can see what the stock is doing. It's actually making higher lows, you know, right here. Excuse me. Okay, yeah, so you just want to watch the high of those wicks, and it close above them. You want to see the price start getting tight over here. Yeah, next one is ORMP. This one actually did broke out, but that white line, see that white line right here, or yellow line now, it was a previous support here, but it became as resistance. See how the stock comes back to it. Now we're coming back to the same level. You're seeing the stock it's actually punched through it, came back. So it looks good for me as far as an entry, but I wouldn't do it because just drugs and biotechs, I don't like too much of volatility. So you want to watch right that level as a stop, but it can still like go higher. I mean, it looks good so far, but you want to watch. So sometimes you want to look to the left side of the chart. You want to see if there is any resistance, and it looked like above that level, give or take. So we're coming back right to that area, supply and demand, and if we break above it with volume, stock can really run a little more higher. Perry, this one, I didn't have any position on this one, but one of my followers was actually was asking me about this stock right in this area, right in here actually, and I said stock can really pop up. I just want to show you an example, because we really what do you want to pay attention to is when the stock start getting tight right on those resistance area right in here. That's what you want to pay attention to. That means the sellers are gone. There's no more sellers, and then usually that's a good entry before even it does break out, because sometimes it doesn't give you a chance. Either it will gap up, or you will do something different, or you won't get any good price on it. For this one, I think, in my opinion, I think if you have any pullback here, maybe to the 21 or to the 8, I think it will be good, actionable. But I'll give it a little more time. Yeah, it looks good so far. VHC. These I just scan for them like as a power play, like you will get like a 40, 50, even 100%. So that's what I'm looking for those. I don't plan to hold these for longer, just like you play them for quick gains and then you get rid of them. Yeah, so this one I'm just watching that whole area here. So from here to here, that's what I'm watching, that green line. I'm watching for the stock to start breaking. So it already did actually a decent move from 5 to 7. So a pull back here before it breaks out would be nice, like it was actually doing right now. So just going sideways, that'll be nice. So just watch that. WBA, same thing. You want to watch how many pullbacks the stock has. Look at this one, how funny it is. I was watching the close above the higher that red candle, and actually it did broke it, but look when it pulled back right below it. So the high was like 1511, that one was 1490. There's no coincidence in the market. So if you would have closed above, it would have been nice, but actually it did not. And next thing, it just, like I said, it just didn't give you any chance to be in it. It just gapped up from 14.90 to 20, almost 21 bucks. How funny is that? Good consolidation sideways, beautiful. Keep that on watch. I like APPN. I'm keeping an eye on this one, but it does have earnings actually coming up this week. So what I'm watching is any starting to close above that red candle will be nice. If you look at it on the 4 hours, you can see, or on hourly, you can see where the resistance is, right in that area, and it's getting there slowly. That happened to me with MRA, and I did tweet about it, and I said I'm watching right at that line again, and I saw that the stock, I was waiting actually for it, just a green candle, like just a green candle, not even a close above it. Sometimes I just like to get half position right before, because like I said before, they don't give you any chance to get into it. So I was waiting for like a, sometimes you get some candles like that, but they're green. It's like a really tight action like this, or even lighter day or an inside day. So I said if that happened next day here, I will get on it. And then next day I looked at it and it was gone. It was way up here. So there's always gonna be another stock. QTRX, I have a position on this one. I got in. Looks good so far. QTRX, TXG, another breakout. I was watching actually this stock since this area of consolidation right in here, and then I didn't have no position on it. I was a little late. I was like in the middle here when I looked back at it. It's giving another opportunity again. It's just breaking out. Looks good. DHR, I have a position on this one. I initiated, I think, last Friday. Yeah. When I look at it, and I did tweet about this as well. I like the fact that you have stock. I like this candle right here on the weekly. We're looking at the weekly now, and then the stock just consolidated for a while. It flushes on this week, and then it came back. That means the buyer supported it, so they want more of it, and then it's starting to break and close above the highs. These candles 244, almost 245, and we close a little bit above it. So I have a position on that one. MP, I was gonna actually buy it right here, but I was doing something else. Now I'm watching actually any candle that is going to close above even the high of that candle, 37.30. That will be actionable right there. Great volume on the way over here on that day. Even actually this day would be great, but you just got to watch your stop loss. How much is it? If it does, so what happened is sometimes when there's like a 11% day or 13% day or something like that, and then I want to get into it, I like to put my stop loss usually right below those candles, but I will do the math and decrease my size. So if I have like 5% loss, for example, I have to decrease my size to match what I'm comfortable with losing. So it's a risk management thing. Next one, ICHR. I have a position on this one. This is I think in U2. This is the monthly. Look at this is the monthly. So we just broke out even on the weekly, that whole consolidation here. So this is it. So the stock just started on 2016, late 2016, been trading to the trends for a while, and then it just starting to break out on volume as well. So I do have a position. We have some decent volume in here too. It's on the semis too. Yeah. Yeah, it broke actually here, pulled back below the 21. Some buyers came back, disagreed to that, like, no, we want more of this price. So they bought it. So I don't remember exactly what I bought it. I think I bought it here, maybe some area in here. VERX. It's packaging. It's a new IPO too as well. You see the whole chart. This is it. You have a breakout right on that day, pulled back to it, resistance, became support right on that day. This could have been a good entry too as well. If you're watching the stock right here, you put your stop loss right below there. It doesn't mean you have to trade a breakout all the time to be a good trader. You can do anything you want, but just as long as you find a good risk to reward entry ratios. So yeah, some people they ignore all the moving averages, and some of them they just do like a support resistance, and they go from there, and they're fine with it. So you don't need all these moving averages. You just need to know where price is falling at. Stock now it's breaking. Good entry again. Next one is ACN. I like this one. It's in packaging software sector. Stock is breaking out. Good entry. Next one is Fedex. Fedex, as I mentioned before, the first stock that I talked about, LESL, and I said that I like them when they actually bounce right back with volume right on the 65 or the 50 moving average. And I mentioned SR CRISPR, and I mentioned that it actually did the same thing. So Fedex, it looks like it has the same what is Fedex right here? If you watch with me, that the stock, it had the really great run, all that, and that the stock just wants to break out. And then once they start breaking out and closing below these midterm defensive levels, like the 50 or the 65, usually it's 50. Bunch of people, they watch the 50. When they do that, what actually happened is like I said that before, and I did explain it. It becomes support. This one barely actually becomes support because it went straight up once, only one here. It had good volume, decent volume here, even though it doesn't show up. And we started, I like the action actually in here. Look at that volume of that day. So a good entry would have been on that day with a stop loss right there. Yeah, so, and the stock actually, that's why I said always watch to the left. There's some stocks sometimes will have a resistance right on that area. This is the weekly. Weekly looks good. 260. So we close above the high of that level and that level already, which is good though. I won't be surprised if this is like the beginning of a new trend from here. I was watching this one, AOUT. I was gonna get into it right on that day in here, but it just ran. You just can't trade all of them. You find them, but you can't trade all of them. PLL. I have a position on this one. It looks like we might have C A to B, B to C, C to D. We might have that. Once we start clearing this level here, you can see a good run up high. Yeah, but that candle, I like that candle right there. STPK pulled back to the resistance. I think they just I liked it over in here on that day, and then it pulled back. So if you started to close above that candle 36, starting to close below it, that will give you a warning. You want to reduce some of your position. JP, keep that in watch. Once you start breaking above that, BTBT, not a great setup, but it just nothing's happening here. We're actually just consolidating. It's pretty much a flag. you want to watch. You don't want the stock to start and close below that green candle. And DM, another one that had many pullback. See, you came back here first, and then second, and then third, and then it's the fourth. I thought the stock was gonna just starting to crash, but actually it's showing me that it doesn't want to do that. It's just moving sideways. So you just may want to watch the stock getting tight here, and then make another base. CELH, just nothing special about the stock. I think it just wants to consolidate. Yeah, after a great run, man, you go back to here, man. That's what it all started. You can probably say from $7 maybe. That's a great run. See, stocks sometimes when they had a great runs, they just like 7 to 24. They're not gonna keep doing just pullbacks. They're gonna have form basis, and that's what you want to watch. That's why I like to go back to the left side and see where the stock started the breakout from. If it run too much, you might want to give it some time to form another base and then get a good entry. So what happened here? Yeah, see, we had another base here, and then we moved from 25 all the way to 70, and that's more than 100%. Now the stock, it looks positive as far as I'm concerned, but it's forming another base. So this is like a no man's land for me. So you just want to wait. Next one was what? Sell Vox, same thing here, forming a base right in here. No great entry, but just want to watch. Home, I like this one. It has a potential. I think you just want to watch again the left side of the chart, and it has, you can see the stock has a resistance right on this area, and then when it did actually broke down here, it came back, reached us that resistance. It was actually support, now it became resistance here. Now we're coming back to the same area in here, and then look what the stock is doing on the weekly. It gives you a reversal sign, reversal of a trend. So you expect it to pull back. It did pull back a little bit, but it did held actually for another week. So that's relative strength right there, and it's still holding, going sideways. So you want to watch that level. You can go there. You can put it. You can watch it on hourly if you want, and you can see what the stock is doing. And you want to go from there. So yeah, just keep that in your watch list. Baba, I already mentioned it. I started just flagging here. And last one is Jack. So this one, not a really great, but I like what it did actually on the last 2 days. So this one didn't have too much of a pullback. So it just started breaking out when it was $5, from $5 to almost $10, almost 100%, and I pulled back. And so that's a good actionable trade. You just want to watch your stops. You don't want them more than 5 to 8%. It just reminded me of SI, this one right here. You see it? You got a great run, and then it flashes so many people, and then you can get in even that day with a good stop loss right there below, and you can enjoy the whole. See, it reminded me of that. It's not gonna do the same thing, but you wish, but you just keep your eye on a stop loss. You can have a pattern that works 99% all the time. I know one day it's not gonna work, so you just have to respect it when it hits your stop loss, and you move on. You can keep watching the same stock, you know, and if it does give you another entry, you just get onto it, you know. So NLS, I like this one. I did tweet about it, and I got in right that day. Because what I liked about it is we actually filled the gap here, and then I was expecting it to pull even down to this level, which was resistance on the white line here. It did a little bit somehow, but it did held for quite a couple days, and it just also, I was watching right that level, and when it did actually broke out, I got in, and it looks good so far. Is it still actionable? Maybe, I think, but not full position, because sometimes you don't want to get in when it's a little bit extended. It's not really extended, but you have to have like some tight stop loss. I would say like maybe right below that candle, that big candle right there, 26.41. So give you a couple cents right below it, and then it looks good though. Look at it on the weekly to the left side. Let's look at it on the monthly. You see that yellow line? So when I put it in weekly, it didn't show. When I put it in the monthly, now you had a resistance right on that area. Now we're coming back to that area, so you want to watch that. Yeah, see that yellow line right there? So you're starting to break here. Now you look for the next level. You go back to the left chart, you look up for the next level. Yeah, CrowdStrike looks pretty good too as well. It just broke out. I have a position, I think, right when it was consolidating here. NVIDIA as well, and Datadog. Yeah, these are good names. Alright guys, I hope this was helpful. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, support the channel, and then see you next time. Take care, bye.